I never get dull of those headlights popping up and down. Oh, it's cold. Hello, welcome to Driven It Storytime. I'm out in the X19 today. It's a balmy November day. And I looked at the logbook of this thing and I just thought, I've had this Fiat for 11 years and I've not got bored of it yet. And I meant to look at the MOT history and I think I've done 12 or maybe 20,000 miles in that time. I don't know, it's usually about 2,000 miles a year. However, my first car. Now, first Fiat, I should say. And that brings us into today's story. But in the meantime, I was looking at it's a very short one, so I'm going to have a little ramble. I was thinking with the Beetle, it's in the garage, I know, on ramps and axle stands, but only for routine maintenance and service. And I'll go back to that later with another story. But I just suddenly thought, well, with the Beetle done, I want another project. Now, I do look at the Fiat, and I do sometimes go, I'm going to sell it. Because, but then I open the garage and look at it and just go, my God, it is still an incredibly attractive car. And despite a friend of mine who really doesn't like driving it because he can't get his legs under it, I was like, because you've not been dancing. He spent most of his time at the bar chatting to ladies, and I spent most of my time dancing. So I've got the slender hips for it. But I still enjoy driving this. It had the thing with Fiat in London, and I had to drive it. I hadn't driven it for about a month, and I drove it to the big Russell pickup lorry thing and drove in like Night Rider. And I drove it literally 500 yards, and I thought, my God, I fucking miss driving this car. So, yeah. So I can't sell it, because my first Volkswagen Golf Mark II, I bought that, I was going to uni. I needed a cheap car that was economical, reliable, needed nothing doing. I had 3 years at uni, I had no time to do any car stuff. So I needed something good, and it did me proud. And I did look at the MOT history of that thing recently, because it's on Sawn, which upset me really. It's almost 200,000 miles now, but I sold it at 170,000, and I think I bought it at 130. So I did about 50,000 miles in that thing. And it was a bloody great car. It let me down once when I had a new clutch and it disintegrated. Oh, and the clutch cable broke on the way to my uni interview. Never forget that. Very nice AA man came to my rescue. But I sold it. And the moment I sold it, and I sold it for a Mark III GTi, I regretted it. And that's why sometimes I look at the Fiat and go, I'm going to sell it. But then you go, yeah, but you know, your first loves, you never forget. So I'm like, And also, I want a project car. Now, despite this thing, I slide across this bumper, very handy seats, despite the glossy shine, underneath, it's looking a bit tatty. As I said, I've had this 11 years. When I bought it, the chap had restored it, parked it in the garage and did about 3 miles every year when he took it for an MOT. Well, he had to, but he wanted to. So underneath it looked spot on. Those 11 years in my ownership have not been kind. As much as it's pampered, I drive it like I stole it. And it's not, and there was also a bit of rust in the engine boot, something I went, oh, fuck. Cover it up, we'll leave it for a rainy day. So it's things I've got to do. So I will do that, and I think maybe the end of this year, maybe next year, I will take this off the road and strip it down. The gearbox could do with a change. I bought a new gearbox, it's a bit crunchy in third and fourth. So may well change that. However, I think that's enough of my ramblings. You've come for a story, so let's talk about that Mark II Golf driver. I discovered this while I was in one of the motorway services in the summer, and it was absolutely rampacked. There was nowhere to sit, and I wanted a little McDonald's. And I thought, why have I never sat on the roll bar of this car? Because you get a nice view, and it's really quite comfortable. However, you'll also notice I've left my shoes outside because I'm not a monster. I'm not putting shoes on the fabrics, and besides, this is cream leather. I'm not a monster. However, today's story, I give you the VW Golf driver. Now, this is early. Picture the scene. Germany, 1988. And we're on the Golf Mark II, and it's doing bloody well. VW have developed this car to look pretty similar to Mark I because they're a bit frightened of going too crazy with their design. So they're like, right, okay, let's just tone it down, make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more practical. Very, very reliable. And they are really incredibly reliable, very well built. Hence why there are still hundreds of these on the market. You try and find a Mark III, Mark IV, they're just pieces of shit. But the Mark II, absolutely brilliant. So, the Golf raging success, Volkswagen did make the poor man's GTi called the Driver. They made that with the Mark I. And they thought, we'll try that with the Mark II. So here we are, the Golf Driver, my first Volkswagen. And funny enough, in the brochure, it's a white car, just like mine. The only thing is, it's got the driver badge. And do you know, I tried so bloody hard to find that driver badge on the grille. Couldn't find it. And when I did find it, it was like 40 odd quid. And I just went, nah, fuck it, I'll just have it as a poor man's GTi. A special edition for the Golf Driver. The Golf, in any of its guises, is renowned as a driver's car. Its taut chassis provides it with impeccable road manners. Living up to its name comes a new addition to the range, the Golf Driver. Or as a friend of mine used to call mine, Betty, as in Betty Driver. Oh, God rest her soul, Betty in her art pot. I know, right? I'm not religious. It offers everything you'd expect from a Golf and more. The Driver comes with 3 doors and is powered by a 1600cc engine with a choice of 4 or 5-speed transmission. It's 1988 and Volkswagen are going, do you want a 4-speed? Who has a fucking 4-speed in 1988? Certainly with the 1600 engine. Are they insane? Also, I hate to point this out. This is 88. My Golf was a 91 and it was a 5-door. I always wanted the 3-door. Never had a 3-door. I've had 2 Golfs, both 5 doors. 3-door really does look bloody lovely. However, I digress. 4-speed transmission, fucking hell. Anyway, outside, the twin headlamps, like the famous GTi, announce its heritage. The black wheel arch extensions, 6J by 14 rally black steel wheels and low profile tyres, together with black door seals and a black aerial, enhance its powerful sporting appearance. It is only a sporting appearance because actually performance wise, for a 1600, these were pretty shit. We had a 1400 Peugeot 205. It would outgun this at every opportunity. I tell you, even this would. And bear in mind that when this came out, with its 1500 engine in 1979, motoring journos were like, oh, it's got no power, 85 horsepower, it's got no power, it can't pull the skin off a rice pudding. It'll piss all over a 1600 Golf, this has only got a 1500 engine. Anyway, inside the sports steering wheel, it's just a standard Golf wheel. Continues the theme, and the sunset striped upholstery adds dash and flair to the comprehensive equipment interior. I don't ever remember Volkswagen, certainly not on this generation, having a comprehensive. They may have given you a clock and some switches, but that's about it. Anyway, it features a stereo radio cassette player, centre console, clock, which I've mentioned, and a number of other safety-related refinements, like interior adjustable door mirrors, with a special wide angle on the driver's side and height-adjustable front seat belts. Click, click, click. And, like all Volkswagens, it's backed up by a unique support package. 3-year paintwork. To be honest with you, they could have said 10 years on these things and they still wouldn't have had a claim. 6-year body protection warranties, 6-year free recovery service. Bloody hell, that's good. Subject to compliance with manufacturers' recommended service intervals. And 20,000 miles between major services. The Driver offers all this at a price that represents real value. And that's not something you really find with a Volkswagen, real value, because they were bloody expensive. But you know what? 20,000 miles between services. Back then, 1988. Now these engines, these were as tough as old fucking boots. And they could go 20,000 miles. Their tolerances, when you sort of think about what I put mine through, came the living shit out of it. It's fine. It did almost 200,000 miles before the MOT history now stops on it. But you know what? That's not bad. You look at any modern car. Let's look at Peugeot's Pure thing or Ford's Ecotech. They've got absolutely zero tolerances and the slightest little wear on a ring, fucked. The wet belt, whose fucking idea was that? That was just ridiculous. Anyway, on the back, we've got performance figures, and see, here we go. 1595cc engine, 75 brake horsepower at 5,500 RPM. And I tell you, for this engine, that really was slogging it out. Maximum torque, 92 doing some dancing. Anyway, sorry. 92 pound-foot at 2,500. That's quite low. So that's quite good. 2-star or unleaded fuel. And then we've got performance figures, and it's got a max speed of 104 miles an hour. And that's for the 4-speed or the 4-speed, for fuck's sake. 0 to 60 for both gearboxes, 12 seconds. Not good. And then you've got fuel economy, which is 32.5, steady 56, 47, which actually it could get better. I drove up to Birmingham to buy a awning for the camper van. And I tell you now, I think I worked out, I got about 55, 60 to the gallon when I was driving up there. Bloody brilliant. And then transmission, 4 or 5, fucking hell. 4 or 5 speed, bloody hell. And yeah, there's some other shit on here. That Sunset Stripes upholstery, that was probably one of the most hardest wearing of upholsteries in any car. Oh, we've got a lighter and an ashtray and lots of other shit. So yeah, there we go. The Mark II Golf driver. My first Volkswagen. I'm on number 5 now. And do you know what? They're not all that bad. It is a bit boring, I have to say, but the Golf. But it just does what you want. And you can't really ask more for a car than that now, can you? I went shopping the other day for a picture frame. I went, I'll take the Fiat. No, you won't get it in. And I really wouldn't. The picture frame was a bit big. Anyway, yes, if you are thinking of buying a Mark II Golf, I can strongly recommend them. Don't buy poverty models, because they really do just leave you a little bit depressed. I had the driver, very, very good. GTi, fantastic. Never had one of those. Or a GL. GL, you get velour upholstery. Oh, that was sexy. Anyway, that's enough of my ramblings. You've probably got things to do. So, I've got to put my shoes back on. I've got to go shopping. So there we go. So anyway, take care. See you soon. Mind how you go. Oh, fuck. Down the hill. Oh, God, that really is down the hill. Hello. Welcome to Driven It Drive Time. Oh, you cunt. It's not drive time, it's story time. I don't know if you're fucking recording now. You recording? Yeah. Cunt. I said this off camera, and suddenly I'm thinking, God, this is the same. That bumper is really cold to sit on. And I got off and I went, God, that's bloody cold, mouse. This roll bar is just as cold. And I should, oh, wind in my hair. Do you know, I'm an absolute fucking idiot. It's slightly raining as you're doing this. You've got paper that's getting wet, you've got shoes getting wet. Oh, and I'm too old to be clambering over cars. Oh, well. Oh, God. I know, breaking your shoes. Anyway. Oh, fuck, that thing's still recording. GoPro, stop recording. Well, that didn't fucking work. GoPro, stop recording.